Welcome to the Near Memo, a weekly conversation about search, social, and commerce. What happened, why it matters, and the implications for local. So let's move on to our final item, which is related to this today, which is kind of the many and varied things that Walmart is doing to compete. Google is competing with Amazon using this kind of agnostic approach to products, online, offline. And Amazon is doing some very interesting things, or excuse me, Walmart is doing some very interesting things also to compete with Amazon. So why don't you tell us
Right.
about
So
that?
last week we talked about their drone project, which was being rolled out to 6 states, and they hope to have 1 million orders by the end of this year or something by delivering products less than 10 pounds, non-perishable products uh, in those 6 states. And Walmart's doing some other very interesting stuff. So in the most recent conversation that I read with their, I don't know if it was a CEO or COO, or maybe it was their chief e-commerce officer, Tom Ward, they talked about how they were going to start fulfilling local delivery for third-party products out of local stores, which is something I speculated on several weeks ago and makes all kinds of sense. And if those products were successful, they would even consider uh, carrying those products in their store. So when it comes down to local search and delivery, Walmart has a tremendous e-commerce, local search, local delivery. Walmart has an incredible sort of infrastructure advantage because they have 4,500 large 100,000 square foot stores with lots of inventory within 90% of the US population. And they have been working on both last mile delivery options with their own drivers,
Yeah,
with
that's their Go Local
Go
service.
Local product. They've been working on the drone thing. They've even been working on the in-home service, which they are expanding, where people are walking into your home and putting things into your fridge. Um,
Yeah, that's a little frightening to me.
they'll put the
And
hamburger helper that the drone delivered instead of the drone
yeah,
delivering. They'll put the hamburger helper in your cupboard. And so they're obviously investing very heavily in this last mile and then turning their local stores into warehouses of sorts and then offering that to third parties, which all of which is very interesting to me. Amazon, though, having moved into groceries where Walmart is currently very successful at delivering this online offline experience, Amazon is switching over to uh, bespoke facilities to store and pick products, not picking it out of a working grocery store. And I just wonder how efficient from a picking point of view it is to send an employee out to the floor to go pick the hamburger helper to put on the drone or for the third party product. And now in the pre-talk, you mentioned that it's cheaper from a distribution point of view, moving massive amounts of inventory to these 4,500 stores and then putting them out to the public. But I'm just curious. So when I look at all of this, I see Amazon, I see Google trying to do their inventory thing in local to fight Amazon, but I see Walmart as sort of the real player in local, and I see it as the three of them sort of fighting for this space at some
well,
level.
they're three sort of different models, which is really interesting. Um, I mean, I one of the things that strikes me is when Walmart is. We talk about whatever term we want to use: omni-channel commerce, unified commerce, hybrid commerce. Now, um, Walmart it really is embodying that. So they're offering many different options: delivery, pickup in store, third party delivery, drones. So they've got all these different options available, but in order to sort of maintain kind of visibility on what's actually available for e-commerce, for in-store pickup, or for shoppers, you've got to have a pretty sophisticated inventory system.
Right.
That
Integrated inventory system,
Yes,
integrated apps,
exactly,
which it said that they
exactly.
were finally solving that problem in this article, that they were building a single app for both product and grocery. They were consolidating all of their inventory information into one place so it would get delivered in one consistent
And
experience.
I think if I'm not mistaken, I think that the employees also have, and maybe Sam's Club, which is owned by Walmart and not Walmart itself, but I think the employees also have some sort of app that is reflective of inventory. But that may be wrong.
They do
But
have an
but the,
app where they get all their scheduling, and in fact,
yeah,
they're given phones to do this. They actually
right.
each were given a Samsung phone, so there's sort of this geofencing of the employees using the phone, which is a little bit dystopian, I suppose. But
But this been the problem for many years with retailers, is that they have not had a kind of a back end, integrated back end, that gave them sort of visibility across the whole system. And Walmart has to solve that in order to pull this
right.
off.
And they do have apparently solved it though in the grocery arena, right? Successfully. I don't think anybody's doing buy online at pick up at the store as successfully as they are with groceries.
Well, Whole
But
Foods is pretty good. I mean, I was using Whole Foods delivery, and occasionally I would do buy online, pick up in store when the delivery windows weren't available, and I found that experience to be pretty good. Once Whole Foods and Amazon added that $10 delivery fee, I stopped doing it, and I haven't had groceries delivered since, because it's just, with all the grocery price inflation, to add an additional fee on top of that is not something I want. So.
I found you also miss out on a lot of the in-store sales and so on when you rely on
Yeah,
grocery delivery.
it was
can't
pretty
squeeze the avocados either.
well.
Yeah,
It's interesting. That was my initial fear against about grocery delivery, is that the produce would be all messed up or it would be undesirable. And what I found by and large is that they do a pretty good job with the produce, and I haven't had too many problems. But again, I stopped doing it once the fee kicked in.
yeah,
So
I'm a big fan of Instacart. I use it. I did want to say though, the one thing that occurred to me when we were talking about this before is Amazon Marketplace. They make a lot of money from those third-party small business sellers
yep,
just to allow Amazon to fulfill shipping for them. It does seem, if Walmart can figure this out, another way to diversify their revenue streams, and assuming that they can even take 10% or 15% of what Amazon's doing, that's going to be a really large number for them.
yeah, a lot of merchants are trying to do the marketplace kind of third party seller thing. But I mean, Walmart is really the only one that's maybe Target maybe is in a position to do that. I think, given their
Yep,
visibility
I
and
agree.
volume.
Oh, didn't you read Amazon's blog post though that if the Klobuchar antitrust bill goes through, they may have to forego third party uh, delivery through their Prime service or something? I don't know.
Yeah,
I
well,
love
that's
reading those
that's
emails. I love
yeah, that's
no
all sort of hiding behind the small business. All these guys sort of default to that. You're going to hurt small businesses. We've talked
right.
about that in the past, and it's a crock pretty much.
Yeah, well, the ones
Yeah.
that are, I mean, many of them have already gone out of business, so it's a little late. The new ones that are around are functioning in a whole different model. So,
Yeah. Okay, that brings us to the end of another exciting Near Memo. As always, subscribe to nearmedia.co and give us feedback, and we will see you next week. Thanks for joining David, Mike, and Greg. To stay on top of the latest developments in local, subscribe to our newsletter at nearmedia.co. We'll see you next week.